Climate Conversations on Afternoons with Helen Farmer.
With Dubai Holding, together for the good of tomorrow.
We are talking fashion this hour, and joining us now in studio is Kelly Power from Best Kept Shed. Tell us about how there could be another way. How are you, Kelly?
I'm really well, thanks, Helen.
Since we are talking fashion, I would just like to say you look fabulous. Tell us about your outfit.
Well, thank you. I would say you can rent this piece on the platform.
Okay,
so yeah.
We're not talking shopping today, we're talking renting. But before we talking about solutions, let's talk about problems.
Mm-hmm.
When we think about the fashion industry, just how much of an impact does it have on the climate crisis?
Yeah, so when we look at the issues in the fashion industry, what we need to do is look at the entire life cycle of the garment. So it's everything from the creation of the raw materials right through to design and production to use and then disposal. Mm-hmm. And at every stage along that journey, there's a lot of waste. There's greenhouse gas emissions, there's excess energy usage, there's water and chemical usage. And so there's a lot of work to be done in making each part of that cycle more sustainable. However, the issue that's really arisen in the last decade or two is that we're now not wearing that clothing for very long. So we've really gone and made this really heavy production piece and we've just worn it for a really short amount of time.
There's a few. I kind of have an issue with the phrase fast fashion, to be honest. So if anyone's not familiar, it's pieces that are made very quickly, very cheaply, maybe responding to trends, and then the market's flooded and overconsumption. But sometimes you can buy a piece that's relatively inexpensive and wear it loads. You think about that cost per wear. Where it's problematic is, as you say, if you're buying items that you never really wear, you're buying items that you never wear or dispose of improperly, and the landfill impact is humongous.
Yeah, well, the cost per wear is really fascinating because it does feel it feels cheap when you check out at the fast fashion register, and it is cheap. But when you look at the number of times that you do typically wear that item, and of course you get lucky, like you said, there are ones that you do wear a little bit more.
But that's more rare.
The average fast fashion item is not worn too many times. So then when you start to analyse the wardrobe on a cost per wear basis, the value equation really breaks down for fast fashion.
And it's a good time to be thinking about this. I've seen multiple times on Twitter, on Instagram, about the people going, do you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my hangers around, and every time I wear an item, I'm going to flip it so I can see exactly how much my wardrobe I'm wearing. I think, hand on heart, I probably wear about 20% of the clothes I own on a regular basis. Now, I'm curious, Kelly, I've prepped you on this. What do you think is the hardest working piece of clothing in your wardrobe? Or the one that you probably wear the most or have worn for the longest amount of time?
For me personally, it's a couple of my dresses. I think for the average person, it's a pair of jeans.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. I'm not a jeans wearer myself, but I've got a few really staple dresses that I just go to. And I mean, those dresses have worked for me for 10 years, and they will likely work for the next 10 years. So those are the really beautiful capsule collection wardrobe pieces.
So when we think about overconsumption, why do you think it's got to this point? And I'm not maybe necessarily talking about pointing fingers or blaming as such, but there are some factors that seem to have come together to create a very easy way of shopping and perhaps buying too much. What would you say are kind of some causations?
Well, since the turn of the century, clothing production has doubled. So we're producing an estimated 100 billion, that's billion with a B, garments annually.
Wow.
Yeah, and the average woman buys around 60 pieces per year. And yet we're wearing our clothes, as I said, less and less. Mm-hmm. So the overproduction and overconsumption piece is really at the core of the issue.
I was quite proud of myself the other day. I had two dresses, one of which is now too big. The other one has never really worked for me. And I was like, I am going to spend a couple of 100 dirhams getting them fixed. Mm-hmm. So they're currently at... I was like, this place needs to be called Taylor Swift. My kids were like, that would be a great name for a tailor. So if anyone's listening, I will go into business with you with a tailor called Taylor Swift. But we've also moved away from this attitude.
I'm very glad to hear that.
Yeah, like instead of mending something goes in the bin. Instead of, tailoring something. So we are going to be talking about some other swaps and things after 2:30. But up next, Kelly Power is in the studio from Best Kept Shed. We're going to be talking about renting clothes. Is this something you would do? This could be a way of you making some money as well and saving it as well. If you've got any questions on this, get in touch on 4001. We love your tips on living well, living sustainably, and we're talking fashion today. We are talking about renting fashion today, not buying, with Kelly Power, co-founder of Best Kept Shared. Tell us about the platform. Where did the idea come from for allowing people to rent out their own clothes, and of course consumers and people wanting a short-term, wardrobe infusion to borrow?
So that's it. Best Kept Shared is a fashion rental platform with a bit of an interesting twist. We don't buy or own any stock. So we actually invite you to list the items in your wardrobe for rent.
Okay, I'm now doing a little mental tally of what I've got in my wardrobe that could be basically earning me money.
It can absolutely earn you money. So yeah, it's really a completely peer-to-peer platform. And you as a lender have the ability to monetize your existing wardrobe, get an ROI on those pieces. And then the other side of the marketplace gets to rent those pieces and access luxury fashion at a fraction of the cost.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. What kind of brands are we talking about, and how long has it taken to, I guess, connect with some of the city's fashionistas and make it make sense for them as well?
Well, we launched the platform this week.
Ah, congratulations.
Thank you. But we've been building the wardrobe for quite some time now. And where do you look for great fashion in Dubai? The first place we went is to the influencers. Yeah, of course. So we wanted to get at least 2,000 items on the platform to list. And we achieved that. So we went wardrobe by wardrobe. We went to one influencer, listed her pieces, and she would refer us to the next. So we've really been all around Dubai to some of the most beautiful wardrobes you've ever seen, and we've listed them on the platform.
So what kind of designers, what kind of labels, what kind of pieces are we talking about, Kelly?
Just this morning, we listed a couple of Alessandra Rich pieces from Sasha Ray's wardrobe that were really gorgeous, and also a few Zimmerman pieces. Think Rixo. We've got some really nice Nadine Marabi pieces. We're actually about to list, at the beginning of December, we're going to launch a Rent Your Sparkle edit. So it's going to be all those beautiful, beautiful, stunning
party
sparkly pieces for your Christmas party and New Year's Eve parties, of course.
Because I think social media definitely plays a role in this. It's about not wanting to be, I'm not talking about me personally, but I think for a lot of people, not wanting to be photographed wearing the same outfit twice. So rather than spending again and again and again on outfits, and of course we can swap between friends, but to be able to have access to an ultimate luxury wardrobe for, a tiny fraction of what that piece might cost. So how does it work in terms of, I'm thinking, how many days, dry cleaning, all that logistic stuff? Kelly, can you shed some light on that?
Okay, so you would list your gorgeous outfit that you're wearing now onto the platform, and it would take you just 2 minutes to do so. I would then rent that item from you. Our dry cleaning, our delivery partner would come and collect the item from you, take it directly to me. I would wear it out for the weekend, and then our dry cleaning partner would come and collect it from me, clean it, and then take it back to you.
Got you. What kind of success have rental platforms seen globally when we think about popularity in other big cities? Yeah,
so what's really exciting is that it's the peer-to-peer model that is the standout model. So fashion rental and peer-to-peer sites are 10 years old in a country like mine in Australia, but they're new to the region here. And so we're really excited because we have that peer-to-peer model, and it allows us to grow quickly as well.
Bringing it back to the planet, what kind of sustainable benefits do you expect? What kind of impact are we thinking about on the planet when it comes to that rental model over buying?
Well,
and it's never going to replace it entirely, let's be honest.
No, of course. But Best Kept Shared's mission is to keep fashion in circulation for longer. So we're really tackling that underutilisation piece.
And also a bit of a side hustle as well for anyone listening who goes, do you know what, I've got a piece of my wardrobe. So I guess
a major side hustle,
A major side hustle. Well, I was just looking at an article earlier today which was about exactly this. Women in the UK who were making thousands from spending a couple of hundred on dresses. So I've already had a message going, what's the website? So I will tell you that right now.
It is bestkeptshared.com.
There you go. Couldn't be easier. Thank you so much. We're going to be talking about other ways of making fashion sustainable. Huge congrats on the launch just this week. Best Kept Shared. Huge thanks to co-founder Kelly. We are going to be talking materials, swapping, shopping, some other brands that deserve a bit of a shout out here in the UAE. If you want any, you want to share your tips, 4001. Equal, if you want details of any of our guests, you can get in touch on that SMS number too. It is Michael Bublé now on Dubai Eye 103.8. It is Climate Conversations with Dubai Holding. I'm Helen Farmer. We want to send you to the Burj Khalifa. I can see it out my window right now. I've got afternoon tea for 2.